Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. For today, I am making this super cute little gift package that you can give to anybody for any occasion. It's super versatile and I'm so excited. I love this little crate that you can create using our wood crate framelits. So I wanted to create that, but then I wanted to make a whole project out of it. And this is what I came up with. And I just think it's absolutely adorable. You could give this to anybody for any reason, just to say hi, just to cheer them up on a bad day. Tons and tons of stuff you can do with this one, and I think it's super adorable. So let's go ahead and jump into all of the stuff that we're going to need today. So to start off with, we are going to be using the Coffee Cafe stamp set. This one is so stinking adorable. I cannot get enough of this one. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So much fun. It looks kind of like plain and like, what am I really going to do with that? But when you start playing with it, it is so much fun. So many possibilities. I highly, highly recommend getting this one. It's absolutely awesome. And it comes with the coffee cups framelits, or it doesn't come with it, but you can get these two bundled together, and the framelits coordinate. I've already taken some of them out, the ones that we're going to use today, so there are more than what you can kind of see through the package here. So we're using that, and then we're also using the wood crate framelits to create our little box. Super adorable. This one has a coordinating stamp set with it. Have I used that? I feel like I used that in a video, but I just can't remember which video it was. I may not have. I may have just used it for a swap. I can't remember, but there's a stamp set that coordinates with this that's absolutely gorgeous. So that one has a bundle that goes with it as well. We are going to be using two different types of ribbon here. We have our burlap ribbon, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love this stuff. And then we also have our linen thread, which is an oldie but a goodie. Again, absolutely love this stuff right here. We're going to be using our Early Espresso ink pad, as well as our 3x6 gusseted cellophane bags. So I will start off by saying that these bags fit the crate. I mean, it's exactly what I used for this one, but they are a little snug, so you could probably use a larger bag and then just cut the top off. I just happen to have these laying around, so I tried to use them, and it does work, but just as an FYI, you could use a larger bag, and it might be a little easier if you're going to make like a bunch of these. It might be a little easier to use a large bag, so you don't have to kind of finagle getting it into this size bag as much. We are also going to be using tear and tape. So I usually don't point out the adhesive that I'm going to use because I usually use snail and dimensionals and fast fuse, and that's pretty much my standard. But I wanted to point out that we're going to be using tear and tape today, and it's very important that we use tear and tape. I mean, you don't have to. I just think it makes this project 10 times easier than trying to use snail or fast fuse or something like that. For our paper, we are using this little piece here. I'm probably going to use about half of this strip here, and this is from the Coffee Break designer series paper. It's again in the same suite as the Coffee Cafe stamp set and the framelits that coordinate. It all comes together in a, it doesn't come together, I keep saying that. It doesn't come together, but it all coordinates together in one of our suites from the new catalog. So I love this paper. This green and white heart print on the back is like my absolute favorite. I don't know why, but I am obsessed with this print. But we're going to be using these circles here today, which are absolutely gorgeous as well. We also have this piece, which is from the, what is this called? The Wood Textures Designer Series paper stack. And this is what we're going to be using to create our little crate. So this is what we're going to use for that. You'll just need one sheet, one 6x6 sheet to create a crate. And I'll show you guys how I do that using just one sheet of paper. And then I have just a scrap here of Whisper White. I'm probably going to use like maybe half of this. And then you need a little teeny tiny piece of crumb cake as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is get all of our stamping out of the way. So we're only using Early Espresso ink for today, and we're going to be stamping on our white, our coffee break piece, and then also on crumb cake. So let's start off with our white piece here. Move these two to the side. I am going to be using these two stamps. So in the stamp set, you have a couple different sizes that look almost similar. This is like the little band around a coffee cup. And then this is a little sentiment that says, life happens, coffee helps. And it actually fits inside perfectly. So we're going to take this, and I'm actually going to bring over my mouse pad, because when I was stamping this earlier, I was noticing that sometimes I wasn't getting a crisp, clean image. So I'm just going to use my mouse pad here that I keep at my computer, and it helps. It makes it super easy. You get pretty much a crisp, clean image every single time. Absolutely love it. Now I'm just going to take my little sentiment here, ink that up, and I'm going to center this just like so. Super stinking easy and adorable. Okay, so that's all the stamping that we're doing on our white piece. Next, I'm going to bring in my little piece of crumb cake, and there is this super itty bitty tiny little heart. There are actually two hearts in the stamp set. One is more of an outline, and this one is more of like a wood grain texture. So I'm using the one that has a wood grain texture, and I'm just going to ink it up, and I'm going to stamp it onto my little piece of crumb cake there. Super simple. You don't have to do that step, but it definitely adds a little bit of something to your finished project. And then the last stamping that we're doing is I'm taking the large coffee cup outline and our piece of Coffee Break Designer Series paper, and I'm going to ink this up really well. And I'm just going to stamp the outline onto my piece of Designer Series paper. Super cute. This is so easy. I mean, these little tags, you can mass produce these super quick and easy. I mean, for me, the hardest part is getting the crate inside of my little cellophane bag. And like I said, if you used a larger bag, you probably would have zero issues. Okay, so now that we have all of that done, I want to go ahead and get all of our big shot work out of the way. So I'm gonna bring over my big shot here, and hopefully you guys can see that really well. Dun, 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 dun. And the first thing that I'm going to do is move some of these stamps out of the way so I don't set my fingers in them. First thing I want to do is take our piece of wood texture. Is that what it's called? Wood texture. Yeah, see, I got that right. And we're going to grab, excuse me, we're going to grab our little crate die. And again, this is from the wood crate framelit set. So we are going to take this, and we are going to stick it down here, and I'm putting the, so it's kind of like I guess a really tall L, or you could look at it as like a backwards L right here. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to set it down on my paper just like that, so you can kind of see where it's positioned on my little piece here. I'm then going to put my top cutting plate down and crank this through. And all of those little crackling noises are completely normal, nothing to be worried about. That happens because your die is getting pressed into this bottom cutting plate, and it goes into the plastic. I don't know how else to describe that, but I have people sometimes are like, what's happening? What is that noise? Something's breaking. Nothing's breaking, everything's good. That's totally normal. So I wanted to point out to you guys how this works. So this flap down here, this big rectangular piece, is the bottom of our crate. And then this is the front and this is the side. So we need one more of these. But if you look at our piece of paper here, this piece of paper isn't large enough to get this whole thing. So my little trick is you can use this exact same piece of paper, and you can just lob off this little chunk of the bottom flap. Because we already have this full bottom flap here, you're gonna have a full bottom, and you don't need two layers. You can, I mean, if you want to use another sheet of paper and get two perfectly cut pieces, you can absolutely do that. But let me tell you, I've created this box a few times now, and I've had no issues with things falling out because I didn't have that little rectangular piece there. And I'll show you guys as we start to put it together, so you make sure that it looks really nice. Really, no one's gonna know unless they look inside the crate and really pay attention to the bottom of the crate. But I don't know many people that are gonna do that, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so we have our two crate pieces here. I'm gonna set these off to the side. get this piece out of my way as well. Then next up, let's go ahead and I'm gonna set my Big Shot off to the side just for 2.2 seconds so that I can get all of my dies nice and lined up exactly where I want them. So let's start with the crumb cake piece. So we have our little heart here. There is, I don't know if you guys can see this because I can't see where my hand is. There is this super tiny, teeny tiny little die in the, oh, what is this called? Coffee Cups Framelit set. And it's a little tiny tag. And we're just going to take this and we're going to use this tag to cut out our little heart that we just did. So the heart's gonna be in the middle of the tag. Super stinking cute. I don't know if you guys can really see now, but I did kind of slant it just to give it a little bit more dimension's not the right word, but a little more interest. That's the word I'm looking for. Then we have this framelit here, which is the large coffee cup that will perfectly cut out what we just stamped. So I just want to line this up. I'm just using some washi tape here as usual to make sure that it sticks down really nicely and I don't have any wigglage happening. Then for this piece that we stamped here, we have another framelit that will cut this out perfectly. So again, I'm just going to take this, line it up, and stick it down. And then also on our white piece, there's this little piece which is like the top of the coffee cup, and we're gonna put that down here. And I don't need to stick that down because I didn't stamp anything, but I'll just put it there so that it doesn't move around. Now I can take all three pieces, bring back over my Big Shot, and get them all lined up perfectly on my Big Shot and cut them out all at the same time. Ta-da! I feel like I'm magic because I got everything on there all at once. I only have to roll it through once. Okay, crank these through. I meant to say this earlier. I am so sorry that there was not a video this past weekend. I don't know what happened. I just kind of got behind and got busy with other stuff. And then today is Tuesday and I realized, oh shoot, I never filmed a video this past weekend. So here's a video for you guys to make up for last week. And this one's just adorable. I couldn't not share this one. So, that's that. Now I'm just going to take all of my little pieces out of the framelits. And I always get worried that I'm gonna rip the cardstock. I mean, I never do. I think I've ripped it a couple of times, but if you're gentle and careful about it, you usually don't rip the cardstock. You just have to be careful about it. And then one more piece. And get the washi tape off of here. Okay, dokie. So we should have 4 little pieces that we just cut out. And let's go ahead and I'm gonna set these off to the side. I want to assemble our little crate first. So let's push those off to the side and then we can build our little cup at the very end. So, like I was saying before, you have one piece that has the whole bottom and one piece that has this little tiny bit cut out of it. Totally fine, nothing to worry about. The first thing that you want to do is take both of your pieces and you have 2 flaps here and you want to fold those flaps. Hang on. Oh no, maybe are we good? Are you guys good? There's nobody here to see you. I think we're good. So you're going to take these 2 little flaps and just fold them down. So if you think about it, you have to pick which side you want, but you're gonna fold the flaps in. So I want this to be the front of my crate, so I'm folding them down under. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'm gonna do the same with this one. And there are little perforation marks there. Sometimes they're a little difficult to see, but it's not that bad. And if you don't get it 100% perfect, it's not gonna do anything. You're gonna be totally fine. Then there should be I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to see this. There's a perforation mark right here, splitting the bottom from the side of our crate. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold on that line as well. And I just like to pre-fold everything so that when I go to assemble, I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about trying to find my lines or anything like that. I am totally a-okay, good to go. And then the last one, there is a little line right here separating one side, separating the front and the back from the left and the right side. So I'm gonna go ahead and just fold on that line as well. And one more, let me find that line. There we go, perfect. Okay, so next I'm gonna use tear and tape. Like I said earlier, I think tear and tape is the best for this for a couple of reasons. One, it's super easy to use tear and tape because you just tear it where you want it to be. Like when you're done, you just tear it. So it's very convenient to use. The other thing is that it's super strong. So I pretty much, anytime I'm making a box or a bag, which I don't do a ton, but anytime I am making kind of more like 3D projects, I will use tear and tape because I know it's gonna stay. That's really why I use it. And anytime, you know, like I was saying, anytime you do a project like this where you're doing a box or a bag or something that somebody is going to handle and play with a lot, it really does help to have really strong adhesive. So that's why I go for tear and tape, and it's just super easy to use. You could use the liquid glue, you could use glue dots, but I just find that this is way easier to do. So the little tabs that we folded down, that's exactly where I put my adhesive. And now I just have this tool that I've had from my Cricut, and I'm just going to use it to help me peel all of the backings off of my adhesive. Now I go ahead and peel all 4 backings off. If you do this, you just have to remember that you've peeled the backing off of your adhesive, and remember that there's adhesive on these pieces, so you're not kind of moving them around and getting adhesive all over the place and things getting stuck. So what we're going to do is you have your 2 pieces here lined up. Now at this point, it completely does not matter if it's this way or this way, it doesn't matter at all. What we're going to do is the edge of this right here, we're gonna line it up with the edge of this and press this tab on this side. So what I mean by that is I'm lining up the bottom right here on the tab, and then I'm just going to press it down. And I like to fold it just so that I make sure that it's got good contact. Then I'm going to turn it and do the exact same thing on this side over here so that I complete my box, just like that. So this is what you should end up with after those 2 steps, okay? So right now my box is upside down. This is where it does matter which one you do. So I have one side that has the notch cut out, and then I have the other side that's full. I'm gonna take the side that has the notch cut out. You wanna make sure you turn in your little tab there so that it gets glued really well. And you wanna put the side that doesn't have this piece in here, you wanna put that side in first. Oh, hang on, dogs are going crazy again. Okay, sorry about that. I think we should be good now. So as I was saying, you want to put the side that does not have this little space here, you want to put that down first. Then what you want to do is, before you put down the other side, I like to take a piece of tear and tape and just put it kind of like at a diagonal on the section that does have the adhesive. And I cut that one a little too long, so I'm just going to take my scissors because it's a little bit easier. And we can just put this little extra bit right here. Now the reason that I do this is just to make sure that my box stays super secure. You don't have to do it. If you just use the little tabs, it'll stay fine. You won't have any issues. But I just like to do this just for that little added bit of security. Now, again, don't forget to fold down your tab, but I'm just going to push my tab in. There we go. Oops. Oh man. I'm going to fold my tab in. Maybe, I did not have this much difficulty. Okay, there we go. Fold my tab in and seal it shut. And then I'm going to just press down the bottom of my crate and really press it down with my fingers. And again, that little bit on the bottom, just make sure that the bottom doesn't come off and that it gives you a nice support on the bottom. So if you guys look down inside my crate, you would never know that there was actually a chunk missing from one of these pieces of paper because you have a full bottom here. You just don't have the full bottom as 2 layers deep. You only have this little section that only has 1 layer. But if somebody is not looking for that, you're really not gonna tell. So I think it works perfectly. And for me, it works out wonderful because you only have to use 1 sheet of paper. I tried moving it around. There may be like some other fancy way that you can do it to where you can get them both to perfectly fit on 1 sheet of 6x6 paper, but I couldn't figure it out. I got frustrated, so I tried this. It works perfectly, and you don't have to do any secret magic stuff. So that is that. I'm going to set this little crate off to the side now. Bring in, oh, I totally forgot. I messed up, guys. Well, I didn't mess up, I just forgot. I need 2 of these little lids. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna move these pieces out of the way to make sure that oh, hang on, my husband's home and the dogs are gonna go crazy again. Hang on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My husband came home and of course the dogs went nuts, but they're outside playing now, so we should be good to go. Okay, so in that time though, I went ahead and cut out the second little lid, and you'll see why. It's totally optional. I like the look better using the second lid, but you absolutely don't have to. It's not a big deal. I'll talk to you guys about that when we get there. So first thing is we are going to take 1 of our little lid pieces and we're going to take our little tag. That one has a little speck of something on it, so I'm gonna use this one instead. We're also going to use our linen thread right now. So I just like to get, spool off a nice long piece just so that I don't ever have issues working with it. We're gonna bring back in our tear and tape, and I'm going to just get a couple of pieces. For this, I do like to use scissors just so I can get a more accurate cut. Since I don't really want it going off of the edge, this allows me using scissors. You can tear it, but using scissors is just a little bit easier to make sure that you don't make the piece too long. So I'm going to put 1 piece down there, peel off the backing, whoops, tear off the backing. There we go. And then I'm gonna take another piece and just put it on the bottom. I hope you guys can see this okay. And basically what I'm doing is just getting adhesive all on the back of this piece here. And then let's go ahead and take this off. Okay, so now that we have adhesive all on the back, it's going to be really super simple to wrap our little piece of twine all around our coffee lid. So I start with the back and I'm just gonna stick the piece down. See, stuck. And then I'm doing it above this little rim here, and I'm gonna wrap it 2 times. 1, 2, and then on the 3rd time, I'm going to just pretend to wrap it. If you can see, I'm not sticking it down. And then I'm just gonna take my scissors and cut it. Maybe these scissors are not very good at cutting this twine. Almost there. There we go. And before I complete the 3rd wrap, I'm going to string on our little heart tag that we made here to go on the top of our coffee cup. Now you don't have to do this. I just found that after I had, when I first designed this project, I just did the white lid, and it felt like it was missing something. I wanted something a little more there. I wanted something that, some more interest right here on the lid instead of it just being completely white. So this is what I came up with, and I think it's super cute. And then I'm just pushing it to the back and sticking it down on that adhesive, and then I can cut off the extra. And putting all of that adhesive on the back makes it super easy to get this wrapped and really, really cute, and it doesn't take long at all, and it's gonna stay really, really well. So what we're going to do now is bring in our little coffee cup. And for me, it's easier to kind of turn this to the side so I can see exactly what I'm doing. And I'm just going to stick this down onto our coffee cup. Whoops. And because we already have that adhesive on there, it's gonna stick super easy. Now, to reinforce this and to also cover this ugly back here, I'm going to do the same thing with the adhesive that I did on the first half of the coffee lid, and just put the adhesive on the back here. Maybe if I can do it properly without making a mess. Just gonna snip that off so that I don't have a little curly Q edge. Oops, now it's stuck to my finger. I tell ya. Okay, so I'm going to stick the adhesive down on the back. Cut it off nice and flush. Peel the backing off with my little picker tool here. If you ever get adhesive on like the corners, just take a tool or something. You could even probably use your nail and just push it down. Nobody will ever know, I promise. Okay, and then some more adhesive up towards the top. Okie dokie. And I promise this may seem a lot more complicated than it is. It's really not that hard. And again, you don't have to do this. You don't have to put the second one on the back. I just like it to make sure that, all of this is covered, and then putting this on here with the adhesive really seals it in so that nothing's gonna move around, especially because this is going on a little box. You wanna make sure that nothing's gonna come apart, because it is gonna move around a little bit more than like a card and an envelope would. So I like it for that added little extra bit of security. So now we have that, we are almost done. I'm gonna take this piece here, flip it over, and put a couple dimensionals right on the back. Look guys, do you see this? I probably could have used 4 dimensionals, but I'm only using 2. Whew. I am really being conservative today. Okay, I'm just gonna put this down onto my little coffee cup. Super adorable. And I have to fix my chair. I think I mentioned this in one. Okay, my camera just stopped recording. Oh man. I feel like there's always something that happens when I'm filming. Every single time. I don't know. I must be cursed or something. Anyway, so we have our little coffee cup done here. I'm going to take my crate, and I just got these K-cups. I figured because it says life happens, coffee helps, might as well put some coffee in there. 2 K-cups fit perfectly in this little crate, for those of you wondering. I'm then going to take one of our cellophane bags, and again, these are gusseted, so you can really stretch what you can fit in here. So I first just kind of take my hand and start squishing down the bottom. And then I just take my little crate, and I recommend putting the K-cups or whatever you're putting in here first, because it gives it a little bit of stability. So again, if you're doing this in mass, I would say get a larger size cellophane bag. This is just what I happen to have, and it works, but you just kind of have to play with it a little bit more. Okay. There we go. Once you get it over that corner, it should just slide in. Oops, if it's not getting stuck on the little slats here. Okie dokie. And, whoops, now it's getting caught on my K-cup. Perfect, okay. And you can just smush that guy down, just like so. Then, here is my other tip. So, when wrapping something like this, I like to take a little thin piece of string. So whatever kind of string that you have that kind of goes with your theme for your project. So I'm just gonna use the linen twine again, or the linen thread, because we've already used it in this project, and it kind of goes with the overall theme. And I will tie, I'm gonna scrunch this and kind of twist it first. I will tie this in just a simple knot around the top of my bag, just to secure the bag. So this isn't gonna be the cutesy part of it. This is literally just to secure the bag. Okay. And you wanna have to, for this one, I have to double knot it, just because there's not a ton of little plastic opening here. And then I'm just gonna take my scissors and snip the ends off. So now when I grab my burlap ribbon, it's a lot easier for me to tie a nice pretty bow because I'm not trying to keep the bag closed while I'm tying it, if that makes sense. So I always like to tie a loop first and then tighten it around the bag. And then I'll tie my little bow loops here. And just make a nice cute little bow. Let's see if these scissors will cut this ribbon. Almost. Oh, there we go. These are not my good craft scissors that I have, but they were right next to me, so I just grabbed them. Perfect. Now, if you can see, I left one end a lot longer than the other because I'm going to put our little embellishment on the shorter end, and it kind of balances out, I find, with having a longer end. So one more time, we're gonna bring in our good old trusty tear and tape, and I'm just going to stick this on my ribbon and really rub it with my fingers. You can see that I pulled off a piece that was a little too long, so I just didn't stick it all the way down, and then you can see when I pull this off, if I can pull this off. Sorry, I got quiet because I was concentrating. And then this little extra bit, I'm just going to fold up, and that'll just be a little bit of extra security on my project. And then I'm just going to stick down my little coffee cup, and you can kind of play with the ribbon to get it exactly where you like. You can also take a dimensional and stick it on the back and stick it to the bag if you want to keep the ribbons in a specific place. Like, that would be cute. Let's try it. Let's do it. If I'm talking about it, why don't we just go ahead and do it? I'm going to use our little baby dimensionals, actually. Because they're just absolutely adorable, and why not use them? Okay, that one's funky. So you can take a little dimensional and just put it on the bag and then put it on your coffee cup, and that way it'll stay right in place right where you want it. If you wanted to move it a little bit, you could move it and it would be super cute. And this one, you might be able to see through this burlap ribbon a little bit, but that's okay for me for right now. And that way you can keep the little tails in a specific place if you wanted to do it that way. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's project. Super cute. I love it. Again, you could make these very quickly. The hardest part, you guys just saw, the hardest part is getting this size crate into this size bag. So if you have bigger cellophane bags, this would go in a super, super quick jiffy. You would get these whipped out in no time at all. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's project. Don't forget, you can shop all of these products 24/7 just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. I am also still having my special for June. For anybody that places an order of $50, you get a free accessory from the new catalog. So it could be ribbon, it could be some embellishments, some sequins. I haven't really picked out what I'm gonna do yet just because I want to make sure I can actually get it for you guys. But there's only a few days left in June, so make sure you get your orders in, and I will get that sent right out to you as soon as the month of June is over. And to see the coordinating blog post for this, go to littlemooncreation.com. I am doing multiple blog posts during the week that I'm not actually, like, projects that I'm not doing videos on. I'm doing blog posts over there, so you guys get more content during the week, even though I can't commit to filming more videos during the week. You guys can get more projects over there. Super fun. I've really been loving it. I started scrapbooking last week, and I did my first scrapbooking post over there. I have been loving it. I fell off the wagon, so if you want to use that phrase. I fell off the wagon and missed a couple of posts at the end of last week, but I am back on track today. I am committed to doing this, and yeah, I feel like I've been rambling a lot now, so I'm going to go ahead and go, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!